Hello, this is Bini here. Today, we're going to take a look at Hang Seng Tech and answer one question, whether the Hang Seng Tech has reversed. Now, we've seen Nasdaq hitting all-time high, but, Hang Seng Tech hasn't done so yet, all right? In fact, that if you take a look at my chart here, Hang Seng Tech, it's still recovering from its downward trend. So the key question I'm going to answer today is whether Hang Seng Tech has shown a bullish reversal. That means technically whether it is on its uptrend or not. I'm using the weekly chart. It will be easier if I were to switch that into a line chart to look at each of the highs and low. Using the highs and low, I'll be able to determine whether price is still in a downtrend or has already shown uptrend. Now, to define a downtrend, it means that I need to identify the highs and I need to identify the low point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw in this pink color dots at each of the highs and low. How do I identify the highs? We just have to look for the highs as mountains and the lows as valleys. So these will be high points, and then these will be low points, right? These will be high, and then these will be low point. Now, in a downtrend, the highs would be lower high than the previous high, and the low would be lower low than the previous low. So this is what defines a downtrend. Now, this is because if price makes a lower low, it means that the bears are strong. And if price makes a lower high, it means that the bulls are weak. So we have here for Hang Seng Tech a lower high as compared to the previous high and a lower low as compared to the previous low here. But something changed during 2024 where at this low, it's no longer making a lower low. That means that as we compare to the previous low, price is right now making a higher low. Okay, now this point here is a little bit dubious and I'm just going to skip this point, but coming back to this one here, so this is a high point and this high point is higher than each of the previous high. Okay, for example, if I compare this and if I compare this, then this will be a higher high. And even if I compare this or if I will compare this, all right, this high point here, the current high point that I map in is making a higher high versus the previous high. So even with this point here, it's also a higher high as we compare to the previous high. And interestingly, this would be low points here, and these low points are higher low. Now with this, then from the technical point of view, the conclusion is that starting from 2024 and to 2025, then Hang Seng Tech had made a bullish reversal. That means it is showing sign of a higher highs and a higher low. Now then you ask me, what is the implication here? So of course, in order for price to continue to show uptrend, then there is a need for the immediate high. So this will be the immediate high. And then this would be the immediate low to be broken. Now, when I say to be broken, it means that price will need to close above the immediate high, which is about 6,200 to create a higher high for that uptrend to continue. And for price to not to close below 4,282. That means that price mustn't reach a lower point than this level here, because in order for the uptrend to continue, price will need to still maintain this structure of a higher high, and if it comes back down, it needs to maintain a structure of a higher low as we compare to the previous high and low point. So that is the key takeaway from the weekly point of chart. If you ask me from the daily chart, are we also seeing an uptrend? The answer is yes. If I repeat the same exercise, then yes, each of these highs are higher high and each of these low are higher low to compare to the previous low or compared to the previous high. So even at the day chart, yes, Hang Seng Tech is making an uptrend situation. Now the key thing is always, if we need to see price moving higher, then Hang Seng Tech would need to close above the immediate high, which is about 5,800, and cannot close below the immediate low, which is about 5,350. So these are the key points that the Hang Seng Tech must break higher, 5,800, and cannot close below 5,350. Now, if you are looking at Hang Seng Tech for some short-term trading, yes, there are instruments listed in the Singapore Exchange if you would like to consider for short-term trading. So for example, the few instruments I mentioned would be DLCs or warrants. Then you can just go to their website to look for individual instruments to understand the risks involved of each of the underlying instruments such as DLCs or warrants. Okay, so this video, I will just stop here, and hopefully it's useful to you to let you understand what are the key levels to note, and very important, whether Hang Seng Tech has reversed or not. Alright, hope you like this video, and I'll see you in my next video.